Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Donna. So in today's video, it's kind of a follow-up video from a previous video that I did. And I did mention that I wanted to wash in the washing machine my Laurel denim bag. And there were quite a few people that were interested in seeing the result. Now my Laurel bag is not, super dirty. But it certainly does show discoloration and yellowing in some spots. And I did have this bag sprayed. I think I sprayed it twice and I left it overnight and it dried overnight. But even so, it did pick up quite a bit of dirt. I don't put my bag on the ground. So I sat on chairs or on a couch, on a table. And so this is kind of what it looks like after wearing it at least a couple times a week, I would say, in the last couple months. Okay. I'm just kind of doing like kind of a look around just to kind of show the discoloration or any spots. Right here, there's like a little yellow spot right there. I am in front of a window, in front of natural light, because I just kind of wanted to show what the bag looks like. Now, I've never washed a Coach bag before in the washing machine, but because this is denim and there are no leather pieces or faux leather or PU leather on here, I do feel comfortable putting it in the washing machine. And so that's what I'll be doing today. Here is the inside of the bag. And it is fairly clean. I do use pouches, so I feel like the inside is clean. I don't know if you can see that. So this part is leather. And so, but actually, I don't know if this is actually leather because I had a dinky that I had gifted to a family member, and she recently showed me her dinky. And when I had gifted it to her, I only used it a couple times, and I assumed that the leather patch on the inside was leather. And when she showed me her bag, this inner patch, the top layer was actually coming off. So I don't know if that's what's going to happen with this patch. If over time it will come off. So that is something that I am wondering. But I guess we can find out together. I do want to do it on this bag, even though I don't necessarily need to wash it right now. I do want to show that if your bag is dirty, to not be afraid to clean it. And I do anticipate something to happen with this leather patch, probably not right away, but over time I think it will break down. The dinky bag that I had gifted, the recipient wore it quite often, so the bag itself did show significant wear, but I was surprised to see that the top layer of what I assumed was leather was peeling off and it was kind of crumbling at the bottom of the bag. So I'm thinking that over time this may happen to this piece also. And then right here, this is also leather. I'm assuming is leather. I don't know if it's the same material as this, but we'll find out. Also, another thing that I was wondering about is the base of the bag. I think it's just denim. I'm not sure if there's another piece inside to give the bag structure, or if it's just the denim, a thicker denim piece. I really can't tell. So that's something else that I was wondering about. So right now what I'm going to be doing, I am going to be spraying down my bag. So I do have a towel here that I'm going to lay down. And so what I will be doing is we'll be spraying down my bag with Shout. And that is kind of like a stain remover. I'll just kind of put this here off to the side. Kind of centered here. Okay. And so what I'm going to be doing is spraying it with Shout. This is a product that I use. It's also the OxyClean spray remover. I don't really have a favorite. I think they all work. I think you kind of have to let them sit for a while. You can't just put stain remover and then instantly wash your clothes. You have to let it sit. And then another thing that I'm going to be using is this brush. And I will be using this to kind of work in the formula so that way it works. So why don't I get started here with the base of the bag. I'm going to go ahead and spray it down. I'm going to be kind of generous with my spraying. And I'm kind of turn it around here. This is kind of where my bag shows the most wear. I feel like in the corners and on the base. And then I'm just going to get my brush and just kind of brush it in place, kind of where I know there's the most wear. And then I will let this sit once my bag is sprayed. I will let it sit for, I would say, about half an hour or so. I do have a load in the washing machine right now. So as soon as that is done, I will be putting this one in next. Okay, and then right here on the front, I don't know, we're at Chick-fil-A and something got on there. I'm not exactly sure what it was. So I'm gonna spray that little corner or that little section and just kind of rub it in with my bristles. Okay, and I will just spray the bag down. Right here I know I have a couple stains. And I don't know exactly if my stains are coming up that I see here in person, how they're showing up on my camera, so I'll see it once I play it back. But where I see a stain, I'm going to spray it and just kind of brush it in. And then right here at the top, where I'm opening and zipping it up quite often, I will also spray it down a little bit extra there. And then right here, this little piece also I think shows quite a bit of yellowing. And then let's do this side right here. Okay, and then I'm just going to kind of turn it around and kind of right here on the inside, I want to make sure I have that sprayed down, specifically this little spot right there. Okay, and then I'm just going to kind of spray it all around, so I do want to make sure that this is soaked in this spray. I don't plan on washing it for a while after I do it this time, and I really could have waited a little bit longer before I washed even this bag, but I did want to show and to share that it can be done and that I do feel comfortable doing this to my bags because I have done it in the past, and it just helps me to keep my bags clean. Leather bags are really easy to wipe down. Even coated canvas are really easy. But when you have fabric bags, they do pick up everything and it does show. So I do like to kind of do this process on the bags that need it. In the past, I never purchased leather bags. In fact, my go-to bags were nylon. This is when I was like a teenager in high school. I did have other bags, not leather, but I always gravitated towards nylon, even my messenger bags for school, just because I would spray them down and then throw them in the washing machine with my laundry, and they would come out looking new. Even my backpacks, I was always very comfortable. My backpacks, my duffel bags, gym bags, I never had a problem putting them in the washing machine. And so I am comfortable doing that to this bag here also. But as I said, I am concerned about, not necessarily concerned, but about these two pieces. So if that's something that concerns you, that's something to think about before you start this process. But it doesn't concern me just because the other dinky that I had seen, that I had given, and I seen the condition, I was disappointed to see that this was peeling. Like the whole leather piece was flaking off, and it was never washed. It was just worn, and she would put her wallet in and out, her keys, her phone. So that would be my only concern when it comes to this bag. So it's definitely something to think about if you wanted to proceed with this. Now I'm also going to wash the straps. Now I almost always use the shoulder strap, and here it is. But a few times I've used the long strap, and in fact yesterday we went to the ice skating rink, and when I was taking out my strap to attach it to my bag, because I was helping my kids over there, the strap did fall onto the ground. So I am just going to wash this also, just because I'm here and I want them all washed at the same time. So they're not necessarily dirty or stained per se, but they probably have oils and all that. So I will just quickly do a little spray. And then after this, I'm just going to let my bags sit, or my bag and my straps. I'm going to let them sit here for a while. I'm going to put my other load in the washing, or from the washing into the dryer. And then I'm going to put this bag with medium colored clothes. I could put them with whites because this is a lighter denim. And then sometimes even whites that have, let's say, navy or red thread running through them, I will put vinegar in my washing machine, maybe like a cup of vinegar. And I feel like that really helps with the color transfer, so that your colors, something that has a color, won't transfer onto something else. So I could also, if I want to do with a lighter load, I could put vinegar. And also vinegar is kind of like a fabric softener, and it helps your denim and your fabrics look a little bit nicer. Because I don't use actual fabric softener, and I don't use dryer sheets when I'm washing or drying my clothes. I really try to stay as basic as possible. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and get my load going, and I will be back. I'm not sure if I'll do this in a two-part series, or I'm going to combine all the videos together. But for now, I'm going to leave this here and let the shout do its job, and then I will be back. Alright, so at this point, my Laurel bag has been sitting here marinating in the shout, the stain remover, for about 45 minutes, I would say. It is still damp, it's not dried. And I did use this brush to kind of brush it in where I knew there were some stains or some marks. And so I feel like any toothbrush would work. I did also spray down the straps, and they've also been sitting here. For detergent, I'm going to be using this pod just because it has Oxy in it, and I feel like Oxy is really great at removing stains. So I'll be using that. In all my laundry, I've been using these for years, are these balls. They have these little kind of beads on the inside, and you can actually use these in place of detergent. They're very eco-friendly. I think they can be used or reused up to 2,000 times. I do put them out in the sunlight, and it helps to make them last longer. So I do use those, and I will include that in my washing machine with this bag. Alright, so this is what I have going on here. Put a bag here on top, my straps. The detergent is right down there. And then I have a few of these little balls. There's 3 of them in this load. And I am going to just put a regular load. And I don't think I don't need this, what is that, the soap? I just need the normal. I feel like it's been sitting there enough. And the spin speed is on high, soil level is normal, so you can kind of see what I have going on. It's going to be washing for about an hour. I'm going to go ahead and close this up and turn it on and just let it go. Alright, so I am back. This bag did get washed in the washing machine. I kind of looked it over, and all the marks that were on there had come out. Okay. It looks really good. It looks good as new. Look at the corners. There were quite a few spots where it was yellowing, and all of that had come out, or has come out. I think it looks really good. I'm really pleased with the results. And here's the base. Really happy. And then on the inside, over here on the front, was like a little yellow stain. Let me kind of look here at the top. And that stain looks like it is gone also. Love it. And then on the front, I had Chick-fil-A. I think it was some sauce for my kid, for my child. And that looks like it was gone also. The inside looks really good too. Of course, it's already clean to begin with. And then the patch, the leather patch, it looks like it was not even washed. Like it's the same as before I washed it, which I'm happy with. But I will see over time if it'll deteriorate and start, if it'll start flaking off like I had seen in the Dinky bag. So far so good. I'm really happy with the results. And then these are the straps. Again, it looks like a brand new bag. And then I was also wondering, or curious about, I should say, about the base. I was wondering if the structure of the bag was like plastic, like a hard plastic. But I think it's just a thick piece of denim that kind of gives it the strong base, because nothing is warped. It looks just as if I had never washed it, so I'm really excited. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the bag inside out first, and I'll keep it like that for a couple hours inside out to dry the inside first, and then I'm going to turn it right side out. Alright, so I did turn it inside out just so that the outside will dry out first. And it's really warm and sunny here. It's about 80 degrees. So I have everything here kind of like on a beach chair, and I put 2 clean half towels. So this is kind of what I have going on. And I will come back when it's all nice and dry. Alright, so I did want to come on and share kind of a final update on my bag. And I will say that I am very pleased with the final results. And at this point, my bag is completely dry. It is a few days after. And all the marks, corner wear, everything that was on the bag itself has come off. And I think it looks great. The inside also looks amazing. Again, my bag wasn't heavily dirty, but it did have some marks here and there. And I just wanted to share that it is really easy to wash denim, including the pink denim that just recently came out. I saw a lot of comments that, you know, it's going to stain really easily, and I do agree. But again, it's going to be really easy to put that in your washing machine and just let it get cleaned that way. And so, as you can see, the leather piece here and the zipper pull, I think, look great. It doesn't show anywhere whatsoever. No flaking, pilling. Everything looks amazing. And then I do also want to share that I did also wash my Dooney and Burke barrel bag. This is a bag that I use on a daily basis, and right now I'm using it as a cosmetic case. And so the inside was kind of dirty. So not all bags, but a lot of bags, the lining, you can pull it out like this. And that's what I did with this bag. I washed the lining. I had put this next to my sink. I laid the bag on a towel, And then I used the Shout. I just sprayed it very lightly. I tried to avoid the leather. And I just let it sit there for a short time. And with my brush and some hand soap, I just kind of came in, especially here around the corners where all the seams are. I used my brush and I just kind of rubbed it in there, scrubbed it really good. And then when I was kind of done, I just took it next to my sink under the faucet, under the running water. It was lightly running water. I didn't have it on full blast or anything. I just put it under there and I just kind of squeezed it out. I did that several times until I felt like all the soap and all the product was out. And then I used my towel and I squeezed out all the remaining water really good. I wiped down the bag. Water did get on the bag, but it did dry up, and as you can see, there's no marks on it or anything. I will say that I did, or I have in the past, washed a Florentine bag. And what happened with that bag is that the dye, because it's vegetable dyed leather, the dye from the bag itself had gone onto my lining, and it did stain the lining. And so that is definitely something to think about. This type of leather and, for example, pebble leather, that kind of dye, it stays on the leather. It doesn't get onto the lining. So this is my final result. I'm very happy with how it turned out. And I'm very happy with both bags, in fact. I think they both look great. Now, if you enjoyed today's video, I would love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, or you're just stopping by and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. I'd love to have you part of our community here on YouTube. And if you have any questions about what I did here to get my bags nice and clean, please leave them down below. I'll do my best to answer them. And until next time, I hope you have a great day.